The Diego Simeone Challenge.
What the hell is that?
I'm glad you asked. Now, I came across this save idea whilst looking at footballmanagerblog.org, and this challenge just has 3 very simple steps. Step 1. Start a new career and simulate forward to November 6th. Step 2. Make yourself the manager of the team sitting 10th in La Liga. Step 3. Win La Liga by playing aggressive defensive football, and do it within 2.5 years. That's something I've added because that's what Simeone did with Atletico Madrid. So if you are excited for this new sort of mini-series on the channel, ladies and gents, then why not leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more uploads from myself in the future. So after simulating forward, the club that we ended up with was in fact Valencia, currently managed by none other than Gennaro Gattuso.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be...
So we're now Valencia boss, and after looking through the squad, I think we've got a good chance of turning this season around. With the likes of Gabriel, Jose Gaya, Edison Cavani, Mukta Diakabi and Ilash Mariba, we've got a pretty good squad. All we need now is a Simeone-like tactic. Yep, that'll do. So following Gattuso's dismal run of just 2 wins in 6, our first game comes away at Real Sociedad. And after 50 minutes of keeping the home side at bay, we took the lead through left-back Jose Gaya. Atletico Madrid loanee Samuel Lino capped off a wonderful first game in charge by securing a 2-0 win with just 32% possession. Diego, I hope you're proud of me. Our defensive aggressive approach wasn't so successful in our next game against Sevilla as Justin Kluivert saw red for throwing an elbow. We were able to dig in for most of the game, but on the 75th minute, Sevilla found their breakthrough with Suso scoring a lovely finish into the top corner. Following that 1-0 defeat, I decided to make a slight change to the tactic by dropping the 2 centre midfielders just a little bit further back. And those changes worked wonders in our next game against Real Valladolid, where Edison Cavani scored a brace in a 2-0 win. We also dominated the game despite only having 41% of the ball. 2 wins out of our first 3 was enough to convince the board to add a whopping £1.3 million to our transfer budget. And with that, we added Argentinian midfielder and all-round bastard Lucas Romero to the team for just £1.7 million. There was a pause on league action whilst we took part in the Super Cup, where we took on Real Betis, and let me tell you now, viewers, this is one of the most ridiculous games of FM I've played all year. After racing into an early 2-0 lead thanks to goals from Justin Kluivert and Cavani, Betis got themselves back in it thanks to a header from William Carvalho. Bakir levelled the score with a brilliant free kick before Diakabi headed home to make it 3-2 and give us our lead back. And a minute later, a mistake from Gabriel allowed Betis to equalise again to make it 3-3. I thought Cavani had won us the game when he headed it home to make it 4-3, however Betis equalised again, this time from a corner. So unbelievably, going into extra time, the score was 4-4. And we gave ourselves a comfortable cushion, scoring 2 very early goals from Vázquez and Justin Kluivert, and the game finished that way, ending 6-4 to Valencia, which sets up a mouth-watering final against Barcelona. And we got off to a great start when just after 10 minutes, Castillejo got his second yellow card and his marching orders. Love it when that happens. However, our defensive prowess shone through, and with just 5 minutes to go until half-time, Edison Cavani headed us into a 1-0 lead. And that is how the game would finish. Yes, we have won the Super Cup by putting in an absolute shithouse performance.
Respect, man, respect.
Into the January window now, and it's time for one of our star players to depart. Right back, Thierry Rendell Correa has gone to Arsenal for £25 million, meaning we actually have some money to spend in this window now. We needed someone else other than Cavani to score goals for us, so why not bring in use for Moukoko on loan till the end of the season? Croatian right back Josip Juranovic was brought in from Celtic for around £10 million to replace Carrera. And Emmanuel Valeri was brought in from Cremonese for £6 million to give us an option at left midfield and also at left back. Edison Cavani has been an absolute machine for us this season, and the Uruguayan scored the only goal of the game in this 1-0 win over Osasuna before netting another 2 in a 2-1 win away at Almeria. 2 more goals for Cavani in a 4-1 win over Mallorca makes it 5 goals in just 3 games for the experienced striker. Cavani, though, was unable to help us at the Bernabeu, where we fell to a 3-0 defeat to Real Madrid. And things would get worse when one of our new January recruits would pick up a rather nasty injury, with Emmanuel Valeri out for 5 to 6 weeks with sprained knee ligaments. Thankfully, we were able to bring in Atletico Madrid's Thomas Lemar on loan until the end of the season. We had the chance to bounce back from the Real Madrid defeat when we took on Villarreal, and we did so emphatically with Gabriel and Cavani heading us into a 2-0 lead. Jose Gaya then teed up Youssouf Moukoko before Edison Cavani got his second from the penalty spot to give us a 4-0 win. A huge result which sees us take 6 wins out of our previous 7. And more importantly, sees us jump from 10th to 5th in the table, just 1 point behind Sevilla in 4th. Unfortunately, however, our brilliant run of wins would come to an end away at Atletico Bilbao, where our usually rock-solid defence would absolutely implode. Despite drawing level through Justin Kluivert after an Iñaki Williams opener, we decided to just keep giving goals away. And after being undone by a couple of long balls over the top of our defence, we eventually slipped to a really disappointing 3-1 defeat. Although thankfully once again we were able to bounce back with a win, travelling to relegation fodder Cadiz, where Yusuf Moukoko scored twice in a 3-0 victory. Meaning that the league table remains as it was before the Bilbao game, where we sit in 5th, just a point off Sevilla, and also 2 points behind Atletico in 3rd. Moukoko bagged yet another brace in a 3-1 victory at home to 6th place Real Betis, and what makes that even better is Sevilla lost at home to Villarreal, meaning that we jump into 3rd place. 5 straight wins would carry us through March and into April before we play one of our biggest games of the season so far. That's right, 3rd place Valencia will be taking on 5th place Atletico Madrid with just 4 points separating us in the table with just 8 games to go. Meaning, of course, we will be taking on the very man that this save is based around in Diego Simeone. 2 managers with a very defensive style of football going toe-to-toe to see who will qualify for next season's Champions League. Surely, there will only be one outcome. Yep, it was a really boring 0-0. Thankfully, we responded with a 4-1 win away at Espanyol. However, it wasn't all good news, with Edinson Cavani being ruled out for the next 4 to 7 weeks with a groin strain. We also lost his replacement, Hugo Duro, for 4 to 6 weeks with a sports hernia. And just to rub salt into the wounds, Castillejo would also be out for the next 2 to 3 weeks with a damaged elbow. So with several key players out injured and Champions League qualification on the line, we hosted Real Sociedad. And of course we fell 2-0 behind thanks to 2 goals from set pieces. We're a resilient bunch though and managed to get our way back into the game thanks to Mukta Diakabi, and then into the second half, Yunus Musa made a brilliant run down the right hand side to set up Lino to make it 2-2. A great comeback completely ruined when Sociedad scored immediately after kick-off through Hakim Ziyech to win the game 3-2. It didn't get much better in our next game away at Sevilla, with El Nesri scoring the only goal of the game to give the hosts a 1-0 win. And the team we had to face next? Barcelona. Safe to say, we probably need a miracle in this one. And that miracle might just be on the cards as we win a penalty just before half-time. Juranovic steps up, and Juranovic scores. And in the second half, Juranovic spares our goalkeeper's blushes with this brilliant piece of defending. With 30 minutes left, we had the chance to seal all 3 points, however Mokoko's effort came back off the post. Against all the odds, it looked like we might hold on for all 3 points, however with 3 minutes to go, we give away a penalty. So up steps Robert Lewandowski, but unbelievably, Memedishvili, our Georgian goalkeeper, denies him from the spot and guarantees all 3 points for Valencia. It's happened again against Barcelona, lads. We've absolutely shithoused it. And with Atletico only drawing against Real Madrid, we stay in 4th place, 6 points clear with just 3 games to go. So of course we drop 2 points away at Osasuna. Atletico win their next 2 games, meaning on game week 37 we have to beat Almeria to guarantee our place in next season's Champions League. And it took just 20 minutes for us to find the breakthrough, with the returning Edinson Cavani heading in for Yusuf Moukoko to put us 1-0 in front. And we would have to wait until the 77th minute to seal all 3 points, with Moukoko turning provider for Cavani this time, making it 2-0. An unbelievable strike from Gabriel Palisa made it 3-0 before our other centre-back, Mukta Diakabi, headed home in injury time to round off a 4-0 win. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is confirmed Valencia will be in the Champions League for next season. So 4th place is secured with just a game remaining. However, 3rd is still a possibility depending on what Sevilla do against Girona. And with them getting a 1-0 win, it means we cannot finish any higher than 4th. So our 1-0 defeat against Mallorca on the final day of the season means absolutely nothing. It really has been quite the turnaround since we became Valencia boss though. In just 7 months, we've taken this team from 10th in the table all the way up to 4th. Edinson Cavani finishes as the 3rd highest goal scorer in the league, with Yusuf Moukoko also picking up the 3rd most amount of man of the match awards, despite the fact he only joined in January. So going into next season, the board has only given us a budget of £3.38 million, meaning we are going to have to do a bit of a rebuild job on this team in order to properly compete next season. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed this first episode of this new adventure with Valencia. If you have, then once again, please make sure you leave a like on the video. And if you are new around here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos from this series in the future. And as always, if the next video is out by the time you're watching this, I'll make sure to include it on the end screen so you can click right on the screen. I've been Breezy, and until the next video, adios.